Mario, Ruby, let's go. Let's go.
Come on, let's have a candid conversation. Let's talk about it. Just bring it up, we got hope and love.
Yeah.
It's all about you and your well-being. The candid conversation show. Let's go, let's talk about
Hey,
it.
let's walk it out. Let's walk it out.
It's all about you.
Let's walk it out. Let's talk.
Hello, and welcome to Talk About It, the Candid Conversation Show with Muriel,
And Ruby.
where we discuss topics that are unspoken and taboo in our community. We are so grateful to have a candid conversation with Maggie Gaines, our Haitian sister, where we will be discussing her journey with overcoming several obstacles, entrepreneurship, and her community advocacy.
Welcome to the show, Maggie.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you, ladies, for having me. I'm excited
You
to
are
be
welcome.
here.
Great.
First of all, you look absolutely beautiful.
Yes, I love that red.
Thank you.
And we see you making a whole bunch of moves in the community. But we want to get to know your backstory. Tell us about Maggie growing up as a child.
Well, my backstory is a very interesting one. Growing up, I came here from Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Okay.
At the early age, sac passe.
Yay, I'm not boule.
At the early age of 3, and when I got here, I came here with one of my uncles, and unfortunately, a lot of unfortunate things happened where I was placed into foster care.
Oh, no.
Due to child abuse, a lot of child abuse.
Oh,
And
so sorry to hear that.
yes, and I had to go from place to place, bounce around, and it was really hard just adjusting, coming here and not having no other family because my biological mom and all my siblings, everyone, my grandma, everyone is left back in Haiti.
So you just came with him your mom sent you with him?
with her brother,
Oh, okay.
and his wife, and I came here with another cousin who's like a sister as well to me. So it was just us. That's all I had.
Okay.
And when me and her was taken away, and we kind of had to separate and move from place to place, it was just kind of difficult to adjust. And I
Right.
became such a fighter. I'm
Yes.
definitely not the person that I was back then. I was always it was like I had a lot of built up anger.
Of course.
And the way for me to release it was by fighting, was by just having. I felt like I always had to defend myself.
Yourself,
There was a guard that was just up. I felt like I couldn't trust
Anyone.
anyone. So for a long time, I held that guard. I felt unloved. I felt like why me?
And no child should have to feel that way.
No.
Exactly. And I had to grow up so quickly, and I figured a lot of things out. Things that most kids have a normal childhood,
Right.
and I felt like I didn't get to experience a normal childhood because of having to always be in survivor mode.
No,
Exactly.
right.
So that was pretty much my childhood until, I met an amazing caseworker who
Okay.
basically took me under her wings. She introduced me to God. And when I
Oh,
was in
thank the
middle
Lord.
school, my adopted mom, who I consider mom and dad, my family, they are so amazing.
Yes.
They were the first people to show me that good people actually
Exist.
exist, And they took me under their wings as well, and they
Okay.
love me. But unfortunately, that situation came to a short end because of my behavior. So
Okay.
I was returned back to the system where I aged out.
What's the aged out? What?
18. When you
18,
age out of the
okay.
system, basically you're a ward of the state.
Okay.
You're declared by the court that you're a ward of the state, and you basically stay there to your 18th birthday.
Okay.
So once I turned 18, I think by then my life was a little different. I knew I wanted to go to college. I
Okay.
knew this wasn't the life for
You
me.
matured.
Yes, and I knew that nobody can make the change. I had to want the change.
That's right.
So I fixed myself up, and I went off to school, and I said when I came back home, meaning when I'm done with school,
Yeah.
I wanted to impact my community.
That's right.
And I did just that.
And that's what you're doing. And we're going to talk about that today.
Yes.
Sure are. But I want to know what age were you when you came here? What was
3.
it? 3, and then you said you were with your cousin and you were with your uncle.
And his wife.
And so what actually happened that made you have to leave them?
The police was called multiple times where my uncle split my back. And I know in the
Oh,
Haitian
no.
culture, discipline is a little different than what they are used
Oh, my
to
gosh,
back
it's
in
like
my
he was trying to
country.
kill you, though.
Yes. And my head was split open. I still have the scars down my back where
Lord.
the
I'm
neighbors
so
called the
sorry.
cops. And to this day, I remember having to look at those photos as an adult because they're still in public
I'm
records.
so sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, so we were taken away multiple times, and we went back to the home because they give the family multiple multiple chances, and we would have to go to court and lie and be like, we did something bad, so he was just disciplining
Nothing
us.
It's
There's
almost like
that.
you were
Yeah.
brainwashed
Right, so we always did that. So we would return back to the home and then get taken away
because
again.
it kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, and it was to the point where my cousin who came here, she jumped off the 3rd-story floor.
Oh.
Like she didn't want to be in that home no more. It was to that point, and they saw the way we were living on the floor. It was just so much terrible situation, because it's funny because we slept on the floor so long that my friends think I have a comforter problem because I buy comforters every week. Is because of my childhood.
Right.
Remember being
you
on
went
that
through.
cold floor. So the
Oh,
state
my
declared
goodness.
that was unsafe for kids to live in.
Correct.
The abuse, the
Yes.
environment, and they took us away.
Thank God they did.
Yeah.
Maggie, what was actually going through your mind at that young age? Your back was broken. Did you have to spend time in the hospital?
Not broken, slash
Slash.
from being
Sla-
hit.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking at that young age?
Yeah, I don't remember going to the hospital. I think they treated me at the scene because I was so young at that time, the first time it happened. In that case, I don't really remember, but I know the scar is still there from that time. But I don't remember. I just remember that I didn't want to be in that home.
Of course.
And I felt like there was no way out. I felt like
Yes.
this was going to be my
This
life
is
in
it.
the U.S. Like, this is it.
Right.
Yes.
You know.
And not only do you have the scars on your body, but you've got the scars here as well.
Yes.
And, I know you're a mother, and I know you are an amazing mom.
Thank you.
And you probably try to protect, you probably overprotect
Yes.
I'm overprotective
your
of my
kids,
babies.
but it's understandable.
Yes.
It is understandable.
Yeah, my gosh. So you were in the foster system for how many years?
Majority of my life, I think my entire life. But there was a period of time, like I said, I got my middle school teacher took me in, which they're my mom. They're the only mom and dad I know, and I love them. I appreciate them. That's who I know as
Right.
well, mom and dad. And they took me in, so I was with them for a couple years before I went back into the system again and aged out. Yeah.
Do you keep in contact with anyone that was there at the foster home?
Oh yes, everybody. I talk to them all the time.
How was
Yeah.
that experience in there?
It was okay, For me, I was a little rebel. So, like I said, just to be completely
Bunzy.
honest, I was not who I was. I would get mad and I'd tear up the whole place.
know.
It was all
You were
anger.
angry.
It was
Yeah.
more like, who I remember when my teachers used to be like, I'm gonna call your mom, and I think that was the most hurtful things for me because they did not know that I didn't know where my mom is. I didn't have one. I'm like, well, call her. Let me know when you find her.
Right. I'm looking for her.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it.
But I create. Until you go through the system, you won't understand exactly what it's like. It's a little different. I met some amazing staff that worked in my group home.
Okay.
One of my favorite group home was Great Oaks Village. I lived in multiple group homes all
Okay.
over Orlando, from Boys Town, Great Oaks, Children's Family, and Kissimmee.
All over.
All over. But I feel like the state does the best they can to teach
Yes.
you, which is why I started my program. So to teach more stuff, but I
Good.
feel like it's so many kids in the system. It's changing every day.
It is.
Oh gosh. Well, at least you created something. What I like is that you're still in communication with a lot
I
of
love
those
that.
people.
Yes.
Tell us about what you're doing now as far as giving back to some of those children that are in foster homes and all that. What are you doing?
Well, I started saving our daughters 8 years ago when my
Okay.
daughter was 6 months old. She's currently 9 years old.
Okay.
Because I remember when I found out I was pregnant with her, I was terrified. It was even though I was with her father for a very long time, but I was like, how can I love a child if, I
didn't get it.
love, so
Right.
I remember just being so scared and just
Yes.
being like, I don't know if I'm fit for this. I don't know if I know how to properly love her.
It's understandable though.
And I wanted to do something. I knew I wanted to give back. So I started saving our daughters to
Okay.
show young girls, just like me, because somebody would see a young girl who's bad, who's angry, who's acting out.
But
And
there's
so
a reason.
There's a reason,
Absolutely.
which is why my slogan is every child is a success story waiting to happen.
That's right.
I feel like I was a success story waiting to happen with the
Yes, you
proper
are.
guidance, with
Yes.
the proper people in your life, with the proper mentors, which is everything we do to help the girls in the community.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I like that.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you have a lot of success stories. What was their life like beforehand?
Well, I have several kids. I have some kids in foster care. I have some kids, their parents around. All my group of girls are completely different.
Okay.
Some of their parents are amazing. I have some of the most amazing parents. Some of their parents either work. So all of their life is different. It was not to trigger just a certain target,
Okay.
but it was to help every young girl in whatever walk of life they
They do,
are.
that's
Because
right.
there are some kids who are at home, but they feel like they possibly cannot talk to their parent.
Of course.
They need someone they can relate to.
Yes.
There are some kids who's in foster care. There are some kids whose parents are incarcerated and they're living with the grandma and they feel alone.
Okay.
I feel like I can relate to so many of different walks of
That's
life.
right.
So the doors are open to all those type of girls. So wherever they are is to help them to the next level.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You have, I like your no excuse policy.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me about the no. Tell us about your no excuse policy.
My no excuse policy, because I hear people make excuses all the
For
time.
every little thing.
Every little thing. Like
If you could walk in my shoes, right?
and let me tell you, I gave you guys a brief of the foster
Yes.
care system, but if you know all the trials that I've been through, just trying to make it to be where I am now at my 31 years of age.
But guess what? You don't look like what you've been through.
Sure don't.
No, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. So
You know there's
no,
a lot of scars, but you don't
Yes.
look like what you've been through.
Thank you.
God is
Thank
good.
you. No excuses. I tell people all the time, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what the circumstances are, put down the excuses
Yes.
and put on your fighting glove.
Yes.
Amen.
And what I mean by fighting, and I use that because all my life I had
You
to
have to
fight,
fight.
Of course.
but put your fighting glove in to continue moving forward. Keep climbing.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
One
love
step in front
it,
of the
love
other.
it, love it, love it. I'm a firm believer in therapy because I do therapy as well, and it's a godsend. Have you gone to therapy?
I did,
Good.
and I need to go back. I did it while in foster care.
Yeah.
That is one of the services they offered,
Okay.
and I did it for a few years. And I think that really helped me transition into
Yes.
adulthood. And my caseworker had me do it right before turning 18. So I think
Okay.
I was doing it 16, 17, and 18.
Oh, good.
So I did it for a few years, and it helped me understand.
Exactly.
Even when I went to college, I exercised some of the stuff that I learned in therapy
Mm-hmm.
to help me cope with, dealing with other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like
'Cause
why
that's
am
a
I?
shock to your system.
Like why am I so angry?
Yeah.
You know.
Do you feel you still have your guard up?
In certain situation, I still have the I don't play type of person because of what
That's a
I've been
good-
through.
good
So
way to
it's just
be.
like,
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm
Don't
cool,
try me.
but don't try me. I'm not the one, because of what I've been through. But
Right.
it took me a while, even with my husband, to just let that guard
I
down
know.
because all
Yes.
my life I had me.
Yeah, you
and
were
I
like
had
this.
to learn to let somebody
finally-
have me. So I'm learning. I can't say it's completely down, but it's a work in process.
But it's
It's work, yes.
understandable.
Yeah.
Everything that you've been through.
Daily
You know,
struggle.
that is understandable.
Yeah.
What inspires Maggie Gaines?
Oh wow, my
What
daughter.
inspires you?
Yes.
My
Yes.
daughter. And I have a son. People be thinking I forget about him. It's both because my daughter was my first one. I didn't have my son till way
Right.
after. My daughter is truly my inspiration. I
Okay.
wanted to do anything and everything
For her.
to make sure she did not experience
What
what
you-
I went through.
And she looks like you too.
Yeah,
Pretty
thank
girl.
you.
Nice looking kids.
Thank you.
You had another. Go ahead, Ruby. I wanted to find out about this Kaizen
Kaizen Village.
Kaizen Village.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to get some more information about that.
Yeah, so Kaizen means continuous improvement. When I went to middle school, it's Carver Middle School.
Okay.
Their one of their thing was Kaizen. They tell the kids Kaizen, continue to
Okay.
improve. And that middle school is where my life changed. So I
Okay.
wanted to name my village Kaizen Village. So
Carry it on.
it's for young girls who are aging out of foster care that
Mm-hmm.
has nowhere to go.
Mm.
But the requirement is they have to be in school, they have
Okay.
to be picking up a trade, and when they leave them home from 8 to 24, my
Mm-hmm.
goal is for them to either have their degree and become homeowners. Because I know for me,
Mm-hmm.
when I aged out, I went off to school. I keep in contact with a lot of the kids that I was in foster care with.
Good.
A lot of them didn't have places to go. Some end up in shelter. It's so many different scenarios, and I'm trying to reduce the number of foster kids becoming homeless, foster kids just being out there.
Because you know the system. You were in it, so you
Yes.
understand. So what better person
Absolutely.
to create this type of atmosphere and system for them?
Yeah.
And you're providing also counselors.
Yes, counselors, life skill training,
Oh, my
career
goodness.
service, resume. We want to give them the tools to be
Absolutely.
successful.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
It's just, I love it. I love it.
Yay.
God bless you.
As a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
time management I know is key. How do you juggle business and family?
Exactly.
It took a while, to be honest with you. Nothing happens overnight. And I remember in the beginning, I was working a lot, working crazy hours, and I felt like I did not have time for my
Exactly.
children. And I had to learn that God gave me them, nothing comes before them.
No.
So
Right.
everything else had to work around them. So I'm getting better, you know. But, when I put my all into my business for it to grow. But now I've learned to I work while they're in school.
Yes.
Okay.
I've learned boundaries with my clients.
You
I
have
do
to,
not
right?
work the evenings.
Good for you.
I will
Turn
work on
your
my
phone
own.
off.
If they're asleep, of course,
Of
I make
course.
time. But I've learned when they are present, for me to be present.
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
You can't get back that time.
No,
Yeah.
you can't.
Awesome.
Can't, yeah.
Love it.
And you know, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm trying to get everything in. We're trying to cram everything in.
Yes.
I want to know a little bit. We know about Bright Light Consulting, but we want you to share with the viewers a little bit about that, because your hand is here, here,
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Bright Light Consulting is a full consulting firm where I help people start their nonprofit, maintain their nonprofit,
Okay.
and help them find ways to find funding. Because when I started my nonprofit 8 years ago, I made a lot of mistakes because I felt like
Trial
I'm done
and
with
error.
school. I'm gonna Google this, I'm gonna figure this out, and nope, Google don't tell you everything. Google don't tell you that there's certain fees, and there's like 3 different fees for nonprofit that
Right.
you have to keep up with in certain time.
Okay.
So I had to learn those things, and with that, I decided to go back to school and just educate myself on nonprofit and business
Okay.
while maintaining my own. Now I see how successful mine is to be fully funded nonprofit.
Okay.
After 8 years, I wanted to help others
Wow.
start and maintain their nonprofit.
Okay.
But not only that, but start and maintain their business. During this COVID-19, I've
We need
helped
this.
over 50 businesses, if not more.
Really?
I've lost count with getting funding.
So there's a lot of
Wow.
people starting businesses, even though COVID-19 is
Yes.
happening. There's over 50.
No, the 50 people were people that was already in business
I
that
see.
I helped
Okay.
to maintain their business in
Okay.
the Seminole and Orange County, whether it was through the CARES Act, whether it's through the PPP,
Okay.
all the funding. I've done so many. I've lost count, but I feel like I'm constantly doing grant funding applications so businesses can stay in business.
And you know this thing now.
Exactly.
You know
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I heard a lot about a lot of people having difficulty finding the money
Yes.
during this pandemic. So that is just awesome. It's great. You know, you talked about all of this business. What do you do for fun?
I like to cook.
Oh, do you
I saw that meal you prepared.
Which kind of
The
food? What kind of food?
oxtails, I saw that.
Well, I'm very islandly because I'm from Haiti.
That's right.
I just don't know how to cook Haitian food that well.
But you put the spices, though. It's all
Yeah,
about the spices
I
and the
have
cleaning of your meat.
Yes, I have the spices, the cleaning of my meat, but I want to learn how to make griot sauce. But I make our rice and peas called the coconut rice. I just know
I saw it.
love
Looks so nice and
cooking.
creamy.
Oh,
I was
sounds so
watching.
Thank you.
I didn't see it. Wow.
I be thinking I'm a
Thanksgiving.
chef. I just love to cook for my family while I listen to music.
Yes.
And I love to read. I love just finding a new book and just reading. I feel like you can learn so
So
much.
much.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. Well, you do so much. You do some. Don't start the cooking. You can't. You won't have time.
No, I'm not. The group home is my last business. I have the consulting. I have a full service accounting firm where I do business and nonprofit tax
You go,
return.
girl.
And the group home, I am good. No more businesses.
You're good. How does your husband? How is your husband with all of this?
Oh, he's amazing because we're both full-time entrepreneurs.
Okay.
He owns a car dealership.
Okay.
And he also owns a moving company. So
Oh, you're
it's
busy.
great. So we have the business center located in Sanford. So we're
Okay.
able to operate our businesses there. So it's great. The business center, we have private offices, conference rooms so that people can utilize
Girl,
it.
you're
So
amazing.
we get to work together. So we get to see each other. He's there now. I'm not even there. He's already opened up, got the place
Yes.
ready. So
Ready.
yeah.
That is,
Y'all are hungry.
yeah, hustlers.
Hustlers.
I love it. We just love to see women just doing amazing things in the community.
That's
Thank
right.
You
you.
know, I want to have a candid minute with you.
Yes.
What would you tell a child that's in foster home, just feeling hopeless, down and out, and just feels like there's just no way out?
I would tell them continue moving forward, that this present moment, it doesn't last forever. I always give this scenario when I meet kids. If you're driving in the rain, you don't go back. You continue driving because the sun is ahead.
Yes.
So continue moving forward.
That is beautiful.
beautiful.
And that's the truth, too. How can the viewers contact you?
You guys can reach me at www.brightlightconsulting.net. You can also follow me on all platforms, Bright Light Consulting or Maggie Gaines. But you can, if you need to meet with me, definitely my website has all the information you need, and that is www.brightlightconsulting.net. All one word.
That is great. You know, and I love to always tell our guests that if there's anything that Candid Conversation, talk about it. The Candid Conversation show with Muriel and Ruby can do. We are here.
I appreciate you ladies, and I just want to tell the viewers that I've been following these ladies for quite some time, and I think with the
Thank you.
awareness that you guys are bringing to the community is amazing, and I
Thank you
want to
so
thank
much.
you guys for that.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
We appreciate your support.
Thank you, thank you.
And we hope that you'll come back.
I will.
Yes.
We will be contacting you because we want to utilize your services.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, ladies.
All
You're
right.
welcome.
Thank you so much. We want to thank you for joining us this evening. Please join us next Tuesday at 6 p.m. for another guest right here from our community. In closing, there's a quote that says, "Speak to your children as if they are the wisest, kindest, most beautiful, and magical humans on earth, for what they believe is what they will become." Maggie created an organization that could assist and empower young women through life's difficulties and hardships. She believes that every child is a success story waiting to happen. She is a true example of a fighter. She did not quit or give up. We are real sisters, sharing real stories within our community. We thank you for tuning in to Talk About It, the Candid Conversation Show.
Go. Let's go.
Come on, let's have a candid conversation. Let's talk about